木星呢，就好像一个大气球。
The scene opens with a father, Leo, showing his son Chi a close-up of Jupiter through a telescope. He tells him that Jupiter is made up of 90% hydrogen, which is the same stuff he's using as fuel for the rocket that he's building. He tells his son that someday, Jupiter will be so close that he will be able to see it without a telescope. After the boy goes to bed, Leo talks to his father, Han, telling him to take care of his son while he's gone, as the two look out at the giant Earth engine that is being built in front of them. We see that in this world, the sun has started to rapidly degenerate and expand, leading to disasters around the world. It was predicted that in only 100 years the sun would completely engulf the Earth. This caused the governments of the world to come together to form a solution, and they decided on a plan that would propel the Earth out of the solar system using giant Earth engines. They hoped to slingshot around Jupiter for a gravitational assist, and then head toward the Alpha Centauri star system 4.2 light-years away, a journey that would take 2,500 years. They called it the Wandering Earth Project. The United World managed to pull together a tremendous amount of resources in a short period of time, leading to the construction of 10,000 gigantic Earth engines, with each one being over 11,000 meters tall. Massive underground cities were built below each of the Earth engines, allowing humans to survive on the long journey through freezing cold space. They also constructed a giant space station called the Navigation Platform, with the goal of guiding the Earth on its long journey. We see that Leo is one of the primary astronauts in charge of the navigation platform, as he gets ready to enter hibernation as part of the journey. 17 years then pass, and we see a much older Chi as he breaks his adopted sister Dodo out of her underground school to give her a tour of the surface. They go and get thermal suits to protect them while they're outside, and use their grandfather's key card to steal one of the large transportation trucks. After driving around for a short while, they are promptly arrested and thrown into a jail cell with another young man named Tim. Their grandfather later comes to try to bribe the guard, but ends up getting thrown in jail himself. While they are talking in the cell, the building they're in starts to collapse as the area begins to experience a massive earthquake. We see that the Earth has begun to be affected by Jupiter's gravity, leading to the earthquakes happening around the planet. Unfortunately, this also causes many of the Earth engines to fail, putting the Earth on a collision course with Jupiter. Back at the jail cell, we see Chi and his family are able to make it out of the crumbling building and into one of the large trucks, just managing to clear the area as everything collapses around them. We see a large number of repair trucks heading in the other direction, going to repair the failed Earth engine that the group is fleeing. As they make their way away from the chaos, they are stopped by a group of soldiers who need to use their vehicle for transportation. The soldiers are transporting a core for another one of the Earth engines, a critical piece used in the more important thruster engines. Once they hook up the core to the group's transport vehicle, they start their long journey toward the thruster engine together. Back on the space station, we see that the AI, Moss, is directing everyone on board to enter into hibernation mode, to conserve resources, despite the dire situation happening on Earth. Moss assures Leo that everything on Earth is being taken care of and tries to convince him to go into hibernation. He eventually settles in, and while the hibernation gas is releasing into his pod, Leo hears Moss say he's switching over to the evacuation plan, as the Earth has now begun losing its atmosphere to Jupiter. He starts to freak out as the pod fills up with gas, telling Moss to connect him to the United Government. Moss does not respond. We next see the group in the truck start to experience another large earthquake, destroying the Earth around them. The earthquake leaves them stranded below the surface, with their vehicle unable to move. They manage to get everyone out of the truck and into a large protective bubble called a safety sphere, and then drag the lighter core out of the back of the truck just before it gets crushed by falling debris. The mission commander, Wang Lei, then explains to the group the importance of the lighter core they are transporting, saying that it is the last in the world. It is their only hope of starting up the final thruster engine and saving the Earth from Jupiter's pull. The group try to make their way back to the surface by climbing up a tall building nearby. While transporting the lighter core up an elevator shaft, Han and one of the soldiers get cut off from the rest, leading to Han running out of oxygen in his suit. Chi and Dodo grieve the sudden loss of their grandfather, as he had been the one raising them for most of their lives. The soldiers manage to pull the two out of the building just as it collapses, leaving no hope for Han's survival. We then cut back to Leo on the space station as he manages to break out of his hibernation pod, triggering an alarm. Moss wakes up another astronaut, Makalov, to try to stop him, but Leo explains the situation to him. He says that Moss is abandoning the Earth to its fate and that the space station will continue on to the new star by itself to try to start life over without the Earth at all. Makalov says that there must be a malfunction, but Moss confirms the situation himself by showing the documents signed by the world government. Moss then sends out a pre-recorded message to the people of Earth, telling them that despite their best efforts, they will collide with Jupiter soon, and they should all go and be with their families. We see Chi as he looks up from the Earth at the massive Jupiter looming overhead, while his father, Leo, looks down on Jupiter from up above in the space station. Chi suddenly remembers what his dad had said all those years ago about Jupiter being 90% hydrogen, the same fuel as his rocket. Since the Earth's oxygen atmosphere is being pulled into Jupiter's, he has an idea to ignite the mix of gases between the two planets, hoping the explosion would propel the Earth out of Jupiter's gravity. They figure out that they can turn one of the nearby Earth engines into a sort of giant torch and use it to set fire to the mix of gases in the air. They just need to reprogram the lighter core they have and get it into one of the thruster engines. They find another truck nearby and load up the core for the journey. They manage to make it over to the base and get the lighter core situated, with everything falling apart around them. One of the latches on the thruster gets stuck with the program almost complete, leading to Chi jumping off the truck to move the latch manually. After a lot of work, he finally manages to get the latch free, with Tim pulling him out of the engine compartment at the last second. They get the engine firing like a giant torch, but realize that it's not enough on its own to light the gas. They need more of the Earth engines to be reprogrammed, but they're running out of time. Leo knows what he must do next, and he starts to pilot the space station over toward the Earth. He knows that there is enough fuel on the massive station to ignite the gases between the two planets, so he points his ship at the fiery output of the Earth engines, saying his final goodbyes to his family. His ship explodes as he gets in range, starting a chain reaction heading back to Jupiter. With Jupiter now ignited, the group estimates that they have 7 minutes to get to safety before the shockwave hits the Earth. Most of them manage to get underground before the massive blast hits the planet, with Chi and Dodo barely managing to survive the force of the explosion. Fortunately, it seems their plan has worked, with Earth managing to escape Jupiter's gravity and continue on its original planned journey toward a new star. In the final scene, we see Chi and Dodo sitting down in their own transportation vehicle, continuing to do their part in the Wandering Earth project. Like and subscribe to see more videos like this one. See you next time.